Kings, hope you're well. And in this video, I want to talk about what the decline or the death of mainstream media means to you as a marketer and what the impact is going to be on the ad business. I think it's no secret by now that nobody trusts mainstream media. So my job as a marketer is to pay attention to where the attention is going and how consumers are behaving so that I can tell you what the impact are going to be for your ads and essentially your ad dollars. So let's get into it. So first of all, let me start by saying that it's really sad to see these good brands that started off really well, that were trusted by a lot of people for many decades, crashing and burning. Personally, I don't enjoy watching that happening. In fact, I used to be a fan of CNN at one point when I was a kid, but I cannot tell you when the last time it was that I watched CNN, NBC, or CBS. In my house, and I got kids, I don't put regular TV. Everybody consumes YouTube now. In fact, it's been the case for the last 8 years. Kids consume YouTube, my wife consumes YouTube, I consume YouTube. So what I do understand is this. How my family behaves, 9 times out of 10 what majority of the people, the consumers out there are behaving. Each person picks a YouTuber that they like, which could be multiple, and it's not just one, and then they will constantly go to these YouTubers for entertainment, news, politics, whatever they want. So in my case, I already have a list of YouTubers that I subscribe to that I know, like, and trust. I don't trust, just like all the other consumers, I don't trust mainstream media anymore. I would rather trust a YouTuber that you've never heard of that has a whole lot more subscribers or viewership than even a CNN on a regular night, and you never heard of them before. I trust that guy over CNN, which is crazy because these major corporations have been in denial for so long and have been gaslighting everybody for so long. But that's not how reality works, you see. Reality can often be very offensive sometimes. In fact, I always joke with my wife and I say the truth can come off as quite offensive sometimes. Sometimes, like when somebody tells me the truth that hurts, I don't like it. In fact, I try and avoid it, but I have to suck it up. I have to live in reality. Even though a lot of other people don't live in reality, I have to live in it because I understand the consequences of not living in said reality. The consequences are devastating. And we're seeing that right now when these major corporations are crashing and burning. As a marketer, as an advertiser, as an agency, you too have to live in reality, or else you're going to crash and burn eventually. When it comes to trust, there are a couple of things that you need to understand as a marketer. It doesn't matter how big your ad budget is. Your ad budget could be $1 million. If your audience does not trust your brand or your messaging, you're going to burn all that cash. We've even seen this happen in the political space where one political party had way more money than the other, but they still lost. Why is that? It's because the people that were being marketed to, they didn't trust the message. The message did not connect. The message did not resonate with the people. At the end of it, this political party that had more money, that started off with more money, ended up in debt. Again, everything comes down to trust. The question you have to ask yourself as an agency or as a brand is, do people trust my messaging? Do people trust my brand? Because if people don't trust your brand or your messaging, you're just going to be hemorrhaging cash. And I've seen this firsthand. How? Because I'm the one that activates campaigns in DSPs. Brands and advertisers give me money. They give me their budgets. I come up with a strategy, or they come up with a strategy, and majority of the time the creative sucks. They run these campaigns, and these campaigns don't convert, which is a tragedy, which is a big shame, because if you have $1 million in ad spend, there's no reason why you cannot bring in at least double the amount, meaning $2 million in conversions and in sales for your brand. If you cannot make that return on ad spend be at least double, then you're really like wasting time. Why even advertising? That means something is broken. That means either your messaging is not connecting, your creative sucks, or people don't trust your brand. It's always either one of those three, always. I've worked on campaigns where 2 out of 3 are good and the entire campaign flops. They lose money. Or maybe 1 out of those 3 is good and the entire campaign flops. But I have good news. The good news is with the emergence of AI, all this is possible now. Let me explain to you why I'm saying all this is possible because of AI. When you look at the past, what's happened in the past in the ad business, the execution of a campaign has been dependent on so many entities. There's so many parties that had a stake in when and how a campaign is launched. So let's say the brand is Coca-Cola, right? Coca-Cola will have, let's say, $10 million in ad spend. If their ad budget is $10 million, it meant that there were probably 3 different companies, meaning 3 different decision makers. So one will be a creative agency that will come up with the creative, and that creative agency will talk to the agency that is responsible for execution. So setting up these campaigns and activating the campaigns, whether on social or TV, out of home, etc. Third will probably be a branding agency. Okay, so there were 3 decision makers. So what would happen in this case would be these 3 decision makers were competing for that same $10 million ad budget because there was always somebody that wanted more of that ad budget than the other. It's completely normal because everybody's running a business, so I totally get it. Where the disconnect was, there was always one of those entities that had more power than the other. So let's say, for example, it was the creative agency that had more power than the activation agency. It meant that even if the creative they put together was crap, the activation agency was forced to run crappy creative. With the economy not doing so well anymore, decision makers cannot afford to run campaigns like that anymore. The CMO of, let's say, Coca-Cola cannot afford to lose money like they've been used to losing money because we're getting into a deep recession now. He needs to get a good return on ad spend for his $10 million because $10 million is a lot of money. So what AI is doing is really replacing one of those 3. The creative agency is being replaced and the branding agency is being replaced. The most valuable out of those 3 is going to be the activation agency and the strategy agency. The strategy agency and the activation agency nowadays are just one entity. So they no longer have to rely on creative agency because they can use AI to come up with creative. There's a bunch of new creative platforms right now that use AI that can create a banner ad for me for Coca-Cola that is based on social ads. An activation agency no longer needs a creative agency anymore. AI can do that. And if the CMO of Coca-Cola needs to approve the creative, then they can do that through the activation agency, which brings more control to the activation agency. And the activation agencies are able to run better campaigns for Coca-Cola. And this is the world that we're moving into right now. All it's going to take is one company. Chances are it's going to be a team of 5 people in that one company that can activate $10 million worth of ad spend, versus a team of 30 spread out between 3 different companies, which means that activation is going to be much faster, decisions are going to be made much faster, and there's not going to be any bottlenecks anymore. You can feel how you want to feel about what's happening because a lot of people, unfortunately, have operated on feelings for too long. These people that have been operating on feelings for so long are going to get wiped out. Because what is coming, they cannot survive. This recession that we're getting into is going to demand efficiency. And everybody's going to be looking for efficiency. If I can eliminate 20 people and can run the same campaign or better with just 10, why wouldn't I? I'm just using logic here. Feelings aside, pure logic. So if you understand what I just said here, if you are activating TV ads, digital ads, out-of-home ads, connected TV ads, and you're ready to double your conversions and work with the best in the business, let's talk. Let's talk. I've assembled the best of the best team. It's not many of us, it's just three of us, three programmatic kings. What you got to do is schedule time. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about how you can improve efficiency in your ad campaigns. If you're an agency, let's talk about how to make sure you don't lose your accounts in 2025, because a lot of these brands are not playing games anymore. Just because you're buddies in 2024, hey, listen, when it comes down to money, you know the deal. All right, let's talk about it. Schedule time. Let's talk. All right, I can help you out.